What a momentous event. The first gardening show of 2014, and it's just, after the winter we've had, it's an incredible thing to celebrate. So we started by talking about this gorgeous pizza oven.
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at this and they think it's tens of thousands of dollars. It's actually how much?
Sandra asked me if it was 15. It's actually under $3,000. So
under $3,000.
Terra Greenhouses.
You know.
So it's like a barbecue, like a high-end barbecue.
Yeah, if
That's
you can't get on the doghouse, I'm just saying, it's an option.
Yeah.
Okay? So now we're going to Planting 101. And people like me will be listening very closely to what you tell us, because I've made bad purchases in the past, stuff that hasn't grown, and the whole thing is daunting.
Right.
So
we don't want to. We want to make your garden experience not daunting.
Right.
That's what we want to do. So we're just using a container to represent any garden space, because a container is like a mini landscape. Just to let everybody know.
Okay.
First off, in terms of containers, though, if you're thinking about soil, you really got to. There's a difference between soil. People think dirt's dirt. What you want to do for containers is a container soil. You can see that it has the white in there, which is perlite for drainage.
Yeah.
Garden soil is meant to go in the ground into the garden. Now, let's talk about plant selection. So a lot of the times people go to the garden centers and they're just like, wow, there's so many, and I like this color, and I like the look of a daisy.
Well, it's so pretty. Why not?
And you know, Gerber Daisies. This is the one plant that goes out of the garden center all the time. And every time I see somebody buy this, they're going to come back and buy another one, just to let them know. Gerber Daisies, of course, are great for part sun. They need a lot of deadheading, the removal of the flower that's there. And if you don't remove these flowers, you can see that it's already started to rot.
Yeah.
So if you don't have time and you don't have time to remove the flowers, it's actually going to drop down to the leaves and create long-term disease during the summer, so these guys are never going to perform for you.
Okay.
So as Sandra had mentioned earlier on about the geranium for a sun garden, and this one's probably big, is the perfect plant. This is one that's drought tolerant, no problem. This is one that's never going to fail for you. Very easy in terms of planting a geranium as well.
So part sun, okay?
No, this is full sun. This guy here is a full sun. So a lot of the times when people are gardening, especially with new homes, they don't have a lot of mature trees, and because they don't have mature trees, they have nothing really shading.
Right.
We're going to talk about shade in a second here.
Okay.
But when it comes to planting, you're going to remove the pot. People are so dainty with plants. They're always like,
oh, just take it out the
grow. And I'm like, just friggin' grow, dude. Right. The reason why I rip the root system down a little bit is that I want those roots to start to spread their way out.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is firmly push down around the outer sides.
Okay.
By doing that, the roots are going to spread out. If this is put in the right location, no problem whatsoever. It's going to do very, very well. So we'll call this a little sun space over there.
So you're saying for someone like me, I should be relying on a plant like this because it's kind of like a foolproof plant?
But geraniums are, you know, the reason why they're grandma's favorites, and they've been around for forever, is they're so easy, forgiving, even if you lack watering. You do have to deadhead as well. Remember when you're selecting plants.
What does that mean when you say deadhead?
It's not a band.
Okay.
What I'm doing is I'm removing the flowers. So these are spent, almost finishing their way off. And by removing the flower off of an annual plant, plants will always put energy to the bloom. By removing them, what happens is it puts more energy to the foliage, then creating more buds and more bloom. Leaving this on is wasted energy by a plant.
Okay, so you do that when the bloom starts to fall off.
When it's starting to fade, you go around with a little bit of therapy. You can use a nice fertilizer, like a quick start fertilizer, the one that's going to help with the root establishment.
Okay.
Okay, this is really good. In the world of impatience right now, there's a disease going through. So people are looking for options for shade. Here's an example of a plant that's fantastic for shade, which is called Terenia. And Terenia is really not known that well. It's a nice blue flower with a bell shape, really great. It's a trailing plant, one that's going to kind of trail over the edge of the pot. And this one here, of course, once again, just to remove it out of the pot. People get really they're kind of concerned. Sometimes they're stuck with the pot. You squeeze the outer sides, just like that with your hands.
Yeah.
They'll slide out ever so gently. There it is. Nice white root system showing me that that's a healthy, happy plant from Terra Greenhouses.
If it was not healthy and happy, how would it look?
The roots themselves would be brown. They'd be rotted. I could almost see mold that was there. The color of the foliage as well would be more of a brown tinge. We want that green foliage. So there you go.
Okay.
For a nice little shade right there, that Terenia to fill its way over.
Beautiful.
You know, very easy selections that are out there for you. Other good ones for you as well. This guy here. This is Lobelia. And I want to make a really comment on Lobelia as well. This is what's called Lobelia hot. Okay? It's for the hot sun. The traditional Lobelia burns out during the summer season because it can't take the heat. So if you're thinking about sun, you're thinking about heat, what we're looking for is plant material that can survive summer. This one here is self-cleaning as well. Really easy. Let's see how
What does that mean if it's self-cleaning?
Doesn't need to deadhead.
Okay.
Okay, so it's kind of like a child that bathes themselves.
Oh, I need one
You
of those.
get what I mean?
Yes.
Cutting down the work.
Yes.
Self-cleaning. So once again,
I'm trying to be a little bit
you're
more
just pushing.
violent, like
Yeah,
you just told us to be.
You know, plants are very resilient.
Yeah.
You know, I can take a
just
hanging...
like kids.
Yeah, I can take a hanging... There you go. You've already smushed the roots a little bit there. You dig it down. You want to make sure it's at the same soil level. You firmly put it around. And more importantly, I got to let everybody out there know, after we're finished planting, watering immediately. And even before you plant your annuals, water them before you plant. By watering them, you can see how that lobelia, I'll grab another one, how that just came out of the pot so easy. Yeah. Because the soil's nice and moist. And when the soil's nice and moist, that was just watered. I can actually show you the water in this guy.
Oh.
See, it was just watered.
Water it right before you plant it.
And that'll make it slide out nice and easy for you. It actually won't shock the root system. You'll have a happier, healthier plant.
Smart.
And presto! You're off to there. Plant that.
Okay, yeah, I will. Listen, so talk to the gardening center. They know this information that you just gave us.
Oh, 100%.
But talk to them before you make your purchases.
Right, and
because they're going to tell you what's going to work.
Best time to talk to garden centers in the morning or in the evening when they're not that busy.
Yeah.
When it's really busy on a busy day.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, you got to go there on off times so they can help you out.